everyone was like expecting something mind-blowing, but then it just really took the mind-blowing to another level.
We played at what was possibly the greatest festival.
I pretty much guarantee that most people who went want to go again. Next year's going to be insane.
There are crowds out there that still appreciate good music. It's just a celebration.
Hello and welcome to Tisno. Pozdrav I dobrodošli u Tisno. Home to just over 3,000 mostly native Croats, where during the summertime there are several influxes of international festival goers descending upon the area over a staggered few sunny weekends and varied electronic music themes to party and enjoy the region's delights. I'm Nathan Jones. Back in 2011, I was fortunate to come to what was the last of the Garden and Electric Elephant festivals on their original site when they were staged up the coast in Petrchan on the other side of beautiful Zadar. I even managed over that week to visit the original garden bar in Zadar itself, which was influential in commencing modern dance festivals in Croatia. And so to Balance, the very first of its particular subgenres kind, with what tantalisingly stated its intention to wow by way of a gargantuan lineup of DJs and producers. For an independent record label which was formed at the turn of the century, it became instantly synonymous with its CD compilations from international DJs from the label's home in Melbourne, Australia, such as Anthony Papa, Phil Kay and Casey Taylor. And by now, with some of these early CD pressings holding cult status and not in production anymore, you'd be looking around £70 or €100 for a copy of Phil Kay's Balance 4 CD. So, what better way to celebrate the 25th birthday for an Australian electronic music label than to hold a festival in Croatia? One of the biggest things for me about this event is that it made perfect sense. Less than 2 years after I was dancing into the stunning sunset in Petrchan, I found myself moving to Melbourne. In the past 12 years since then, one thing which has struck me as vital is that the world is smaller than how people saw it when Balance Music released its first record at the turn of the century. Since arriving in Australia in 2013, I gave up teaching and sacrifices which came with it, restarted DJing after years away, and began presenting my radio show Stylus in Melbourne. And once again, after moving back to London, all while the planet came to a bit of a halt because of a yet unexplained virus. So yes, it makes total sense when much of life doesn't. Meeting in the middle of Europe, where it's slightly more accessible for many of us in the Northern Hemisphere to come together and revel in the glory of the music and surroundings. While Chicago and New York have always been directly associated with the births of house and disco, likewise Detroit for techno, and while Berlin has become its bohemian Euro epicenter in recent decades, Melbourne may not be the recognised birthplace of progressive house as we know it, but if it was in Europe or North America, carrying influence it's had over the last 30 years, it wouldn't be a ridiculous thought to imagine it as a type of clubbing mecca for prog house devotees. In the same way as Cordoba and other progressive house-linked parts of South America have become fixtures on many people's bucket lists in recent years. Having closer proximity to Melbourne's events for the rest of the world would be a game changer, as Melbourne is still the city with most music venues per capita in the world. It's also the southernmost major city on Australia's mainland, making it further than most. However, Balance has been at the forefront of progressive house's breeding development throughout its whole existence. So well done to Tom, Walter and the Balance crew for having the balls to even try bringing balance to Croatia. At a time when a sense of global collective unity is not quite what we see, music and the arts has had its trials and tribulations in recent years, as well as our own mental health challenges as we all grow older in this age of information. I wanted to see and experience once again how powerful a medium music and especially the binding force of live music can be. The backdrop for it all here in Tisno? Well, I'll let you discover.
Funny how it sort of evolved. Like, I knew nothing about it. Obviously, I knew it was in, well, I didn't even know it was in planning, actually. I went away for 3 months last year, and I went on a bit of a holiday. I did my tour for 3 months, and then my partner, Anthea, came over for like a month of it. And I was like, you know, I want to take you somewhere where you haven't been in Europe, because I lived in Europe for 10 years, so I've done all of it, you know. And I said, well, why don't we just go to Croatia, you know? Like, she'd never been to Croatia, and I was like, cool, let's just go there for a holiday. Went to Split, went to Zadar, went around there, you know. Thought nothing of it. Next minute, I've taken a flight home, and literally 3 days later, I've got a phone call from Tom, and he's like, I want to invite you for a festival. I'd like to do a festival celebrating 25 years of Balance. And I was like, oh, awesome. Me thinking it's going to be in Melbourne or Australia or something. Thought nothing of it. And I was like, oh, where is it? I said, where's it going to be? And he goes, oh, Croatia. And I was like, fucking hell, I just come from there.
I'd agreed to report from the festival for 21C Progressive House. 21C had been formed 6 years ago as an online haven for fans and artists of Progressive House to communicate on social media. With now over 7,500 members, it had grown to a healthy status. With the help of Fergus Alexander from Brisbane, I hope to feed back to the platform and bring some idea of how to discover this inaugural experience. The journey began very early morning for me on Wednesday, August the 6th.
It is just gone 20 to 6, and it's like 11 degrees. Been up since 3:25, because Jessie, my dog, has been waking us up, barking in the middle of the night, so not had that much rest, but looking forward to getting to sort of more than 11 degrees in Croatia. Get to Gatwick and then breathe easy, hopefully. Breathe easy jet. See you on the other side.
I couldn't wait for this break. I'd existed for the previous few weeks just to get to this point. I turned 50 in May, but after a crazy period at the time, I was exhausted and I didn't really get a chance to celebrate in a non-hectic environment. So I made the most of having more tall person space than expected and treated myself to a half bottle of shampoo on the flight. Still, when your dog has kept you awake for a long night before travelling at 5:45 AM, feeling fresh is not a given. Cue a feeling of jet lag at Split Airport. So far, nothing missing. I meet Joseph, the bus driver, and despite a few latecomers, the group of 11 travellers head to the minibus and we're on the road by around 1:20 PM. We're even allowed to play our own music on the bus's system, so one of the American girls on the bus plays the Balance Croatia compilation. Sweet.
Where have you guys come from?
New York.
New York.
Was it today?
No, we came from Paris.
Okay.
Paris first.
New York.
And how long were you in Paris?
4 days.
4 days?
New York.
Well, randomly we all
We all same place.
even though we weren't from the same
All
place.
New York.
I came from LA first, and then I went to New York, which is where they
Where we're
leave us.
from.
And then we were all on the same flight from Paris today. turns out.
New York.
Well, it's going to be a lot of meetings over the next 5 days anyway, so
Yeah.
cool.
New York.
See you around.
Tons of socializing.
What's your name?
Val.
Val?
Olga.
Olga?
New York.
Alicia.
Alicia?
New York.
And I'm Janie.
New York City.
As much as the philosophy of living slowly and easily, or pomalo as locals call it, was a way of life on this coastline, I'd gone to bed after a long day of travelling with a very un-pomalo thought on my mind. I'd lost my passport. I managed to get 6 hours sleep, which by the marathonic nature of yesterday was slightly under the requirement. Maybe it's the excitement in me, or maybe the worry about where my passport could be. At least I have my Aussie one as backup. Not an ideal start, as any neurodivergent person will tell you. Losing things is something, I've tried fixing over the years. Regardless, I headed to the most obvious option for breakfast, given that I hadn't managed to get any shopping done while I was tired last night, to Hotel Tisno nearby. Caught it at the right time to get a table just before it filled up. A coffee and an omelette later, just a few yards away, I'm experiencing the first of the twice daily bridge rays on Tisno's picturesque waterway, and have a wander around the area before heading back to organise myself before the fiesta begins. Early afternoon, and I decide to walk to the garden site. I head to the artist reception room and collect my wristband and already recognise familiar faces who will be performing over the weekend. What a sight! The place already makes sense, having walked through the small village square in Petichan 14 years ago. This is exclusive and tucked away perfectly. I walk through in awe and expectation, the calm before the storm of the very first Balance Croatia. I was about to head back for a couple of hours to try resolving the passport issue, but I bumped into Ferg, Jack and Rob. Fergus begins introducing me to some of the Melbourne crew, most notably Casey Taylor. I explained about my passport issue. I have my Aussie one as backup. Oh, you definitely don't want that one at the moment, he joked. I said I think I'll take a Mars passport at the moment as I feel like a space cadet, and got a taxi back to the accommodation. Final touches were even being made to the yard stage, and expectations rising with the Tisno sun. 7 p.m. After difficult conversations with home about the missing passport, it's time to head back to the garden and the real start of the festival. What happened that Thursday night was a big sign of what was to come. I arrived just before the start of Simply City's pier set, with a reasonably expected amount of people there already. Rucksack and cameras on my back, and caught up with Simon from Bournemouth, where we had a great chat and danced for the first hour. That's where the festival surprises increased. Within no time, after years of chatting on social media and almost 30 years after first seeing him play at Escape in Swansea, I met and chatted with Anthony Papa and his fiancée Louise before they were also hit by a wave of adoring fans, with the place gradually filling up. Something special was brewing, and this began to feel more than an opening night. 10 o'clock and I went to the bar, right at the start of Mariano Molino's set, with the pier absolutely bouncing. Then returned to the wall above the pier stage, and suddenly, nope, I wasn't tripping. Everyone had moved over to the beach stage as capacity had been exceeded. What an opening night, with Ken and Deep Dish to come at Barbarella's. After my last visit to Barbarella's 14 years previously, also with a limited number of tickets sold, surely it would be a more intimate club. Intimate it was not, bouncing it was. Being introduced to more of my heroes, especially the welcome I received from Tom Kanzic on the dance floor, made me feel more balanced. There was a huge day to come on day 2.
Me, Nathan and Ferg.
How we going?
For 21C Progressive House. How was your first day yesterday?
Yeah, mate, I'll tell you, it was pretty mind-blowing just even for day one, right?
It was amazing.
Unexpected, kind of, thought it was going to be a bit more of a chilled out affair. Which it was during the day, you know, chilled out and took it easy, and then, you know, when I got back to the garden, it must have been about 9:30 or something like that, it was just going humping, and then they had to shut the pier down to move over to the beach. That was for safety reasons. It was just mental, like the vibe was insane.
It was, yeah.
The buzz about this festival, so I've been chatting with some locals, like some Uber drivers, and the buzz in the community for this festival is incredible because it's sold out. Like, it's the first festival in a while here to actually fully sell out, and you know, businesses are stoked, they're staying open later, things like that.
In Barbarella's last night, it wasn't a case of, oh, how many phones can you count now type of thing. It was people dancing.
How many phones can't you count?
Yeah. People were actually dancing properly.
Going off, getting right into it. The vibe was electric.
And it's only the start of day 2, thankfully.
Yeah.
We've got another 2 or 3 days to go, so cool. See you soon.
See you in a bit.
Good news had come. My passport was safe at Split Airport. Someone had found it, and airport police said I could pick it up on Tuesday before flying home. Phew, party on. How's it going so far for you guys?
been great.
And who are you looking forward to?
Freaky
seeing
or Freaky Y, Guy J.
Frankie Y and Guy J. It's a pretty sort of stacked lineup today, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sort of really. Some clashes, which makes it a bit difficult. DJs playing at the same time. How far have you travelled?
I came from Seattle, Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
Denver.
Nice. Are you staying for a whole week? Or are you just the weekend or travelling around?
Till Tuesday. Yeah, till Tuesday. Get 1 day recovery after the big festival, right?
Sensible.
Yeah, we started in Scandinavia though. Yeah.
Cool. Well, enjoy the festival.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah. Stay safe travels.
There was definitely something just very unique about that environment that I think there's a certain part that just doesn't leave you. It's that connection to what you're doing. It kind of gave you more of it. It's like validation of what you're doing. I just had people from all around the world, and that was the thing about that event, about Balance, how it was a global festival. The connections I made, or the conversations at the very least that I had with so many different people, wouldn't have otherwise have had. You know, people had spent so long waiting to have this music kind of environment. It was really special. That was one of the main things. Just that set opening up that stage and just having that connection. Just going to goosebumps thinking about it. You know, so many friends, and often you'll go to gigs and people will say, "Great set, I really enjoyed it," and that's great. They enjoy it. You know, and having that feedback.
Yeah.
What people were saying at Balance went way beyond that.
You think it's going to be like a vintage year because of people's excitement and inspiration, with the quality of music that could come out because of people's encouragement?
I think it's going to be musically pretty magical. I think with the people that are going to be playing next year, all the producers and DJs have spoken to each other about this event, knowing that energy and knowing what you can do with the crowd, knowing how attentive the crowd's going to be. You know, this year we were prepared to bring our A game. Let's push even. I pretty much can guarantee that most people who went want to go again. Then all the people, I don't know how they're going to accommodate everyone.
After your set, I sort of ran into Tom. I was in such a daze. Tom sort of, "Are you all right?" "Yeah, wow. I can't believe what just happened." And I said, you know, just capturing you, and then Camilo with Herman and Cass facing you in the crowd, because so many DJs were dancing in the crowds even before your set. But that was just like fantastic. I think you just captured a moment of the weekend, really. Were you aware of what was happening at that moment?
Yeah, Camilo actually pointed Hernan out to me. I saw Hernan at the back, and the next thing I know, he's standing in front of me. Norman was up there as well, because I just had a lunch with Kat and Norman earlier, and I knew that they were going to be there front and center, and they were front and center. I saw them for a while up there dancing away. Then next thing I know, Hernan's there.
I don't think I was the only person there by the time the sun went down on the Friday thinking, am I in a dream? After being enthralled by Jamie Stevens and seeing Camilo San Clemente smash the yard stage, I grabbed some food and sat for a few minutes before suddenly getting a bit ahead of myself. I'd seen that Steve Parry was unexpectedly backstage while Camilo was playing and thought I'd be a FOMO feeder I take a photo of myself with him just to annoy those already kicking themselves for not being there. Steve even said, "Ah, a professional camera," as I pulled out my GoPro. Little did he know that I didn't sort the photo settings out, so I felt like a bit of a melt when I went to post the photo onto Steve's thread on the socials. Time to escape to the beach stage and listen to Nick Warren and maybe give my cameras a rest for a while. Meeting people for the first time I'd been in touch with on social media was one of the most special things about the festival, especially the tribe I never met and got to know in Melbourne. Big up y'all. As an epic day sprinted to the last set, I was back at the yard. The clash of stages was not an easy thing, so I had to enjoy chunks of various sets from around the site, but I wanted to at least try to get some decent shots and footage of two of my biggest influences who were headlining that night at the yard, Sasha and John Digweed. With a darkened neon and a very busy backstage area, plus the fact that it was the closing set of an incredible day, knowing that there were still another 2 days to go, and realising that I was celebrating my 50th this year, not my 30th, I was happy to be ambling home at 5:30 AM with an excitement of what was to come. Despite having walked nearly 17 kilometres on the Friday and had an incredible day, I didn't sleep as long as I'd have hoped. After 4.5 hours of sleep, I was restless and hungry. So I headed to the Rio Churrascaria for a buffet breakfast. I wanted to be at the festival for 5 PM, as Danny Bonici was opening at the Olive Grove. I chatted with him briefly after Jamie Stevens' set, and I said I'd be there for his, so I'd already added pressure onto myself. My head said leave at 4:30 to be there for 5. My body said, "You what?" as I snoozed under the fan in my room. So, sorry Danny, I didn't make it. Eventually, I made it in for around 7:15 and did a quick tour of the 3 stages while already knowing where my final destination would be. It was set to be another belter of a night, as the crowd at the beach stage was getting down to Buddha Kid. At the Olive Grove again, showing a wonderful variety of the event with Tara Brooks playing some proper house. But once again, the yard was under the spell of the Melbourne Balance magic. GMJ and Matter had captured the crowd from the start of their yard opening set at 6. Actually, before then, I'll let them explain.
Like just the pure love and energy and connection. Like we had people there at the front cheering before we put a track on.
Everyone that obviously came to support us, the horde of people that were chanting at us, wanting to press the play button. Standing there going, well, there's people yelling at us to start, like we better start. A lot of people coming up to us with comments that were blowing me away. A couple, like one person even said, "You saved me during COVID."
I think it, the right word is transcended everyone's expectations.
We played at what was possibly the greatest festival, and I don't say that lightly because we've been to some freaking crackers.
Like everyone was like expecting something mind-blowing, but then it just really took the mind-blowing to another level.
And Ezekiel Arias continued to launch the yard stage into an impassioned Saturday night frenzy from 8 o'clock. I had to see for myself how the reactions to GMJ and Matter's euphoric set was taken backstage. And I wasn't disappointed. It clearly meant so much to the Melbourne Massive who waited for this event for such a long time. Meanwhile, and by that I don't mean meanwhile as in Gavin Matty's label, while I was at the yard, Fergus was out to sea. Not in a bad way, yet still calling SOS on the good ship Argonauty. Sex on substance this time, and not 3 dots, 3 dashes and 3 dots for distress. Demi, Omid and Desin Masiello have a cult following for a reason. They don't disappoint. In Fergus's words,
I had a feeling that with a cryptic post by Omid some time ago that we would see a special announcement. And sure enough, like a phoenix from a flame, the immortal trio of Desin Masiello, Omid 16B and Demi rose once again. And I knew that there was no way in hell I was going to miss this once in a lifetime reunion. The excitement for what would lie ahead was indeed bursting at the seams. The lads had wasted no time too. This was no warm-up, 4 hours of SOS doing what they do best. Throwing out the rule book, there was old school house, disco, electronica, prog, classics, everything in between. For this really, truly was a proper musical journey. You could say that objectively the vibe was pumping, it was a proper old school vibe with smiles from ear to ear, with the dance floor going off to a smorgasbord of music mixed in true SOS fashion. Subjectively, this was without a doubt one of the greatest musical moments ever, at least for me anyway. I have a bit of history with the lads, having hosted Desin for his Balance 08 tour in my hometown of Brisbane, Omid on his Australian tour in 2006, then all three of them for the SOS tour in 2008. And when the lads had dropped Depeche Mode, "Enjoy the Silence" is the thing about the power of the music. As soon as that very famous riff cut through, I couldn't contain it any longer, and I cried for the first time ever on the dance floor. I was there in that moment, celebrating all the goodness in life, the beauty of it all. I also got to share an incredible, heartfelt moment with one of my closest friends in the world on a boat against a spectacular backdrop in the middle of the Adriatic with the soundtrack provided by 3 incredible artists I hold very dear to my heart.
if you look at the festival's motto, music, moments, memories, it's definitely succeeded in that so far. Back ashore, after doing a lot of walking, dancing, meeting people and celebrating, I decided to have a few moments to myself and listen to the end of Buddha Kid's set leading into the start of Henry Sizes by the water near the beach stage. I'd spent a lot of unexpected time in the early Tisno afternoons sorting folders of files from the cameras which had duplicated on the laptop and made it all a bit disorganized. Technology. Amazing at its best, exhausting when you really don't need it to be. Still, look at that view. I already knew I sadly wouldn't make it to the close of the stages at 6 AM if I was to make it through to the close on Monday morning. But one of the best sets of Balance Croatia, and at the time of writing this, it still hasn't become available for re-listening. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, get it posted please, was again at the yard with Guy Manso. Considering he had the heavyweights of Kernan and Guy J to follow him, this was a stormer of a set. Backstage was a bit busy and getting busier, so I floated between there and the dance floor. As you can see, the atmosphere was on fire. For someone who has played and even made breaks tracks in recent years, I had to call to see Stanton Warriors and some Adam Freeland at the Olive Grove. The dream sequence of Balance continued to be a happy one. Fans, fans, fans. The temperature was noticeably matching that of the yard's full arena, as you could see everyone trying to cool themselves while making the most of the music. After I'd spent a lot of time with my friend Norman H and the top bloke and returning star producer Cass over the last few days, I was trying to catch up with them as Hernan Cattaneo took to the decks at a full arena. They decided to be front and centre for this one, so I enjoyed Hernan from the back of the dance floor. As I left at 3 AM, gutted to miss both James Abila and Guy J. Hernan ended his set playing a remix of Cass and Slide's monster 1999 classic Perception. I texted Norman excitedly and he replied Hernan had played 4 of Cass's tracks in his set. At least I could head home with a warm appreciation of another mind-blowing day. Although missing Guy J's set was one which Fergus and I were reminded about by Casey after the festival.
Guy played the best set I've ever heard him play at that festival. So I took everyone front and center. We found the sweet spot right in the guts. Nice. And next minute the sun came up and I was just like, wow, that was fucking spot on. Nice. Yeah. Really good.
Hey guys, and welcome to Sunday, the very last day of Balance Croatia. I can't believe it's here already. And hats off to Tom and everyone involved with Balance Festival and the label, everyone who's travelled. It's just been phenomenal. Like, people have travelled from everywhere. The DJs have been dancing with people. The weather has been superb. The music has been superb as well. So friendliness, the music, the yard especially has been like being in an old, in a club that we used to trust and go to. Just packed all the time. Everyone happy, no attitude at all. Just an amazing experience. Today, I will be going on to the second boat party of the day, the Celador one with just her and Dave Seaman. Got to thank Tom, for being involved, and Clara for just everything that they've done over the last 6 months. It just rocked. So thank you, and I'll speak to you soon.
With the final push approaching and the ever-present Tisno sun smiling down, it was time to lap it up one last time. So I thought I'd see what more of the travelling crowds have thought of the festival.
Hi guys, how's the festival been for you? Had a good festival?
Very good festival, very good.
Very good?
Very well organized, very good music.
Where have you travelled from?
We're coming from Colombia.
Excellent, excellent. How long are you staying?
We are leaving
Tuesday.
We stay here for the whole festival.
So you would come back if we did another one?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think everyone says the same thing.
Yeah, it's a little far for us, but yeah, we'll definitely come back.
It's been amazing, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, who are you looking forward to seeing today?
Well, everyone. Basically, every stage that we went to has really good music.
Yeah. So. It's almost difficult with too many DJs playing sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah. But definitely we want to see Amonita, Los Desert, Sebastian Leger.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Seaman.
Cool. Enjoy the rest of your festival.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Where do you guys come from?
Edinburgh, Scotland.
What do you think of it so far?
Very hot, but great. Yeah.
You do it again, definitely.
Yeah.
And the music has been amazing, I think.
Bit hard going at our age though, night after night. Should have done this 20 years ago.
The bonus is you're getting to see the DJs walking around at the same time.
Oh, they've been dancing with people.
Just relaxing, having fun. Yeah, it's been brilliant. It's been amazing.
Yeah. Well,
definitely come back next year.
Enjoy your holiday anyway.
Thank you.
2 guys I had the privilege of spending a fair bit of time with, as well as enjoying hearing their music played respectively, were producers Cass and Norman H, also Strip Recordings label owner. At this point, they had just come off the boat trip with Graziano Raffa and Danny Howells playing, so it was the perfect opportunity to catch some post-gig excitement at its highest from 2 well-respected figures. Unfortunately, once again, my remaining stamina had left my sense in the shade as they praised Danny Howells to the heavens, having just returned on the boat, because my microphone lead was still plugged in when it shouldn't have been. This was the painful result. Oh well. Now it was my turn to take to the water, the final festival boat party of the weekend, was that of Celador, with one of the pioneering DJs of my lifetime, Dave Seaman, and my own local Brightonian standard-bearing Just Her. As one very partial to sunsets, this was one I wanted to enjoy myself. As the final evening began to take its course, as I boarded with my weekend chat and dancing buddy from Bournemouth, Simon Bishop, the classics had already started playing with the warm sun descending. As Fergus had attested to the previous evening, it really was a celebration of great feeling, great company, music and surroundings. I can vouch for anyone who's had any tough times, hurdles or even personal mountains to climb. I can't think of a better setting to feel that life has its glory moments. Oh, and for any kids out there saying that over 30s shouldn't be clubbing or out dancing at festivals, politely, we sort of wrote the book and are still adapting it. But you're welcome to join us to find out how it's done. Wink wink, nudge nudge, say no more. With the sun starting to set on the first Balance Croatia, it was easy to get slightly emotional when you feel there's very few places which could compare to that environment. As Just Her passed over the deck control to Dave Seaman, it was just up to him to steer us home, back to the final gathering in incredible style. To be fair, I think my emotions needed a rest, as the painful dichotomy of having to choose between Danny Howells at the beach stage or Casey Taylor and Guy Baroni at the Olive Grove, I just had to sit between the two and absorb as much as I could for a while my legs had a rest. Thankfully, the post-festival releasing of the sets recorded showed both with some of the sets of the festival. By the time I made it to the beach stage terrace, where I stayed until around 4 AM and made one last exodus to the yard, I'd run out of arm power to record much more, so I did the only thing available, got lost in the music one last time. And before I knew it, the sun was rising. The sheer theatre of the close at the yard was just spectacular. It was just about spiritual, as if time had stopped. Patrice Barmel teasing us with jazzy notes as Monday began to kick in with the realisation that this special festival was about to end, while no one wanted to leave. It was the advert we all thought that our worlds needed. This thing, this movement we were all a part of, was very much alive. For now, we had witnessed, danced, walked and lived the first Balance Croatia. The only sensible way to process the highs, moments to savour and togetherness of the past week for me was to use one of my favourite methods, go to a beach. Except as picturesque as it was, The tiny enclosure of Tisno's secluded beach was crowded and almost impossible to find a space with all the holidaymakers. All my festival crew seemed to be either flying home or recovering quietly. The heavy drop after months of preparation and excitement and a week of feeling heavenly had begun. And I can promise you, the magnification of these feelings when you have ADHD or any neurodivergent condition can for many people be overwhelming. Eating well and sleeping with one more Tisno sunset was my practical decision.
Quick as a flash, it was been and gone. It's almost like it was a dream, sort of woken up again and having to sort of come back to life and get back to sort of reality. This is going to be a tough one, I think, over the next day. See how it goes.
By the time I'd found out about the impromptu Meanwhile Records party in Pirovac, I'd eaten and my body was reminding me of the reason I'd originally decided to come to the festival, that I was 50, not 30. A begrudgingly mature early night it was. Well, sleep helped, but I worked out that my steps for the week were through the roof, especially bearing in mind the temperature. 134,000 steps, 100 kilometres or 66 miles in over 30-degree temperature. Festival silliness.
Okay, so last morning, it's 25 to 9 and I'm just going to get one last breakfast at the Hotel Tisno before checking out before 10 o'clock. There are a few hours to kill before getting the shuttle. 5 hours sleep, still if I feel a lot better this morning than I did last night, so it's good. Breakfast.
A haze of travel with such tetchy sleep, to reach a haven for sweet recollections. This dream sequence may end, but forever memories to keep, and shivers down spines for unique recollections. Such a setting, such a gathering and wide-eyed joy. Familiar terrain, yet upgraded surroundings. These feelings I've not had since I was a boy. Fleeting hope in a week, too soon to be leaving. This company of strangers like bees to honey, with musical intellect drawing all together. Come and knowing their neighbours, but leaving as family. Glowing from this experience, warmed from the weather. Is this where I must come to feel alive? To walk, dance, talk and bond with heroes and friends? It now makes sense where to look for my tribe, as these times hold more value than my wallet can spend. So promise me, sunsets, you'll always be there, for a new day begins where my spirit can live. I'll know where I'm heading to dance away unneeded cares, and find balance when I'm searching for what I can give.
This is it. Uber booked. Uber on the way in 2 minutes. Cheerio Tisno. See you next year. Alright, well, the very final part of this epic journey, unsurprisingly, a midweek journey on the train going towards Aldrington, surprise, cancelled. Well, there wouldn't be a midweek journey home without a cancelled train. So, I'm just going to have to walk from Hove with a heavy suitcase again. So, this is the end, I think. But at least the train from Gatwick to Hove is not cancelled. So I think I'll have one more glass of wine on the train See ya.